Hi guys, FPL Posty here, just uploading a new video onto my YouTube channel discussing game week 29 in another Thinking Out Loud video. If we go on to my team selection for game week 29, it is of course a double game week and we are still rocking the 3-4-3 formation. Raya in goal, basically the best choice out of my two keepers because Ward has obviously lost his place in the Leicester City first choice lineup. Tough fixtures for Raya, both away from home against informed Brighton and Manchester United. I don't foresee any clean sheets for the Brentford stopper. Mainly his points will be coming from saves this week, I believe. Me three in defence. As you guys know, I am all about the attacking defenders. Any clean sheets I get is just a bonus. It's all about assist potential. Well, Trippier for me is the best defensive asset in FPL now. Tricky fixtures, Man U at home and West Ham United away, but he's an absolute hoover for bonus points because he's on set pieces, so he keeps his place in my lineup. The same with Chilwell. Hopefully Potter will stick with a attacking 5-3-2 formation with the wing backs of Chilwell on the left. Who will be on the right, I'm not sure, because obviously old glass ankles, Reece James has injured himself yet again. So I'm glad I've not got him in my team. But Chilwell with two home fixtures against Villa and a very, very indifferent Liverpool. Hopefully he can get some assists there, maybe even bag a clean sheet. Of my other defensive assets, it's the best of a bad bunch, really. I could go with Gabriel. He's obviously got a brilliant fixture at home against Leeds, and he's always a danger in and around the box during set pieces. But he has only got the one fixture this week. So although it's close, I've gone with Tyrone Mings. He's got tough fixtures, Chelsea away and Leicester away. Could possibly keep a clean sheet away at Leicester at the King Power Stadium, but it's close between Mings and Gabriel, but Mings just pips it because he's got two fixtures. In midfield, I'm absolutely loving how my midfield looks. Maddison, Rashford, Matoma, and obviously my transfer this week was to get rid of Martinelli and bring in Portuguese man of war Bruno Fernandes. What I'm loving about my attacking setup here is the set piece potential. Obviously, we've mentioned that Trippier is on set pieces, but Maddison is Leicester's set piece king. He's on free kicks, he's on corners. Rashford is obviously on free kicks. Fernandes is on penalties and free kicks. And then up front, you've got three penalty takers in Tony, Watkins and Haaland. Now, let's have a look at the glaringly obvious, which is the two flagged players in my team. Now, Rashford has been flagged almost the whole of the international break. He has been seen doing light training for Manchester United, so not a massive problem there. I do foresee him playing in both the Newcastle and Brentford fixtures. Haaland, on the other hand, the big news yesterday was the fact that he wasn't pictured in training with his Manchester City teammates. Now, I have a theory on this. A lot of people are saying he's going to be out. I don't think we'll get much information from Pep's press conference later on today because he is famously good at dodging questions and basically giving cryptic answers. So I'm not even going to bother listening to his press conference. My theory is that Haaland will play against Liverpool. There's a slight chance that he'll start on the bench, granted, which is why I've took the captain's armband off of him. This all started earlier on in the week when his father said that his groin problem was more serious than first feared and that he'd gone to visit a hospital in Barcelona to have it assessed. I still think this is a big international smokescreen injury, purely because obviously, Man City have got a massive run in now. They're in the running for the Champions League. They're still trying to chase down Arsenal for the title, and they need a fresh, fit and firing Erling Haaland. And I think if it had gone away on tour with Norway, I think they played Spain and Georgia, didn't they? I think Manchester City have engineered this with the Norway international team to basically give Haaland a bit of a chance to rest, recuperate, get some gym work done. Now, obviously, he wasn't seen in training yesterday. That doesn't mean he wasn't there. He could have been indoors, doing indoor work. And also, cameras are only permitted to film Manchester City's training sessions between the hours of 9:30 and 10:30. So after the cameras were ushered away, it could well be that they brought Haaland onto the grass with the rest of his teammates. So I still think he will play. The only reason I have taken the captain's armband off of him is obviously because there are lots of players with double fixtures and also the risk of him possibly starting on the bench against Liverpool. But I can see him playing and I can see him definitely scoring against Liverpool as well. Tony Watkins are my forwards up front. Basically, they do exactly what they say on the tin. Both are their team's attacking talismans. Both of them have away games and tricky away games as well, but they're both on penalties. I think there's a good chance that Tony and Watkins could get goals this week. Regarding my captaincy, I've gone with Rashford. He seems to be the most popular choice for captain. I've just had a look, and Rashford's record against Newcastle is really, really good. In 10 games, he scored 5 goals and got 5 assists in the Premier League against the Toon Army. So that has just basically cemented my decision to give him the captain's armband. I don't normally captain and vice captain 2 players from the same team with the same fixtures, but Mitoma, as good as he is and as attacking as he is for Brighton, and he's got tremendous fixtures this week against Brentford at home and Bournemouth away, the key thing for me is not really on set pieces. I tend to put the captain's armband to maximise potential on set piece players. So obviously Rashford is on free kicks. Bruno is obviously penalty taker, so he has got the vice captaincy. Likewise, you could well put it on Maddison, seeing as he's on free kicks and corners for Leicester. He may even be on penalties, seeing as Tielemans, who is Leicester's normal penalty taker, is still out injured until mid-April. And I don't think Daka and Iheanacho are terribly great at penalties. Vardy obviously starts on the bench for Leicester nowadays, so Maddison could well be on penalties as well. So that's my starting lineup at the moment. Obviously, the deadline is around about this time tomorrow. I can't wait. This international break has seemed like it's dragged on forever. Now, as you can see at the top of the screen, I used my bench boost back in game week 9. One of my biggest drawbacks being an FPL manager is that I have little or no patience. And I used it back in game week 9. To be fair, it wasn't bad. I did gain about 15 points off my bench, so it's not like I wasted it. But I knew at the time, a little voice inside my head said, you really need to wait until the business end of the season when all of the double game weeks are kicking off to save it. But just didn't have the patience, and now I'm regretting it. So on my bench, I've got Saka, Ben Mee, Gabriel, and like I said, Ward of Leicester. If I had the bench boost, obviously that'd be great. I'm currently overall rank at 26k at the moment, but I can see myself getting a red arrow. Hopefully I won't drop any more past 50k because that would break my heart. But I'm very well aware that a lot of engaged top 100k managers have still got the bench boosts and they're going to activate them this game week. So we could well see some massive scores this week. If well-prepared managers who've got 15 players who play and are on double game weeks and kick in that bench boost, wow, we're going to see some 150s, 160s, maybe even 190 scores out there. It's going to be really interesting to see what the highest scoring team is this week. Unfortunately, I haven't got my bench boost, so I'm just rocking with what I've got. I'm very happy with what I've got, though, to be fair. The only slight change I might do, because like I said, I'm pretty much certain I'm going to captain Rashford, is Haaland. I'm going to keep an eye out today, see if he does appear out on the grass with his Manchester City teammates. If he doesn't, I'm not going to panic. I still think he'll play against Liverpool, but I could well do a last-minute change and go with a 5-man midfield with Saka in midfield as well. Obviously, only got the one game just like Haaland. He's not flagged. He's absolutely flying. I mean, the goal he scored against Ukraine for England the other day was absolutely spectacular. So the lad's buzzing on confidence. Plus, just like Haaland, he's a penalty taker. So that could be a last-minute decision. I'm going to wait and see if there's any photos on the training ground of Haaland, see what Big Pep says about the Norwegian monster, and if he's definitely out. I don't think we'll get a definitive answer from Pep at all. He's so elusive when ducking and dodging these questions in press conferences. But yeah, Saka could well come in, and it might just be Tony and Watkins up front, but we'll see how I feel. The last thing I want to go over is I've sort of cemented which transfers I'm doing over the next couple of game weeks. So if we go on to fixtures, obviously, like I say, this week's transfer was Martinelli to Bruno Fernandes. Martinelli's been a great servant for my FPL team this season, but he's had to go because Fernandes on a double game week and on set pieces just makes more sense to play the Manchester United man. Plus, obviously, he doubles in game week 34, and Man United also have another double coming up, probably in game week 37 as well. So I'm trying to bring in as many Man United, and as you'll see in a minute, Brighton players as possible. So going into game week 30, my projected transfer is to get rid of Ben Mee of Brentford and bring in a Stupinan of Brighton. As I've just mentioned, trying to bring in as many Brighton assets as possible. They double in 34, they double in 36, and I believe they'll double again in 37. So get those Brighton assets in your teams. Going to game week 31, I will be taking out Brentford's Raya and bringing in Edison of Manchester City. Game week 32, I'm going to be doing what most engaged managers are doing and free hitting. Obviously, there's a lot of teams that are involved in FA Cup action that game week that will not be playing, who've like the likes of Manchester City, Man United, a lot of players. Looking at my team now, I can only field 8 players in that game week. So I'm definitely using my last chip, the free hit, in that game week. I'm going to load up on 3 Arsenal, 3 Liverpool, a Trippier, a Kane. I'm actually really looking forward to building that draft, to be honest with you, for game week 32. Should be interesting. Then into game week 33. This is when I will start to bring in as many Brighton players as possible. And as you can see, they've got a really good fixture away against Nottingham Forest. So I'll probably try and bring in their penalty taker, McAllister. And then leading up into game week 34, I should have 2 transfers in. And again, trying to bring in as many players, players that double that week. We've got Man U, Man City, Liverpool, and Brighton are the main teams you want to be bringing in players for. Maybe a Luke Shaw in defence from Man United, and my other transfer. I mean, Salah's one, but to be fair, I might not have enough money to bring him in, so it could well be Cody Gakpo that comes in. We'll have to see. Liverpool have a lot of players coming back from injury at the moment. Diaz isn't far away. Neither is Firmino as well. So Gakpo's starting place might be under threat, but we'll analyse that at the time. But hopefully by game week 34, having used all my chips, because obviously there will be some managers who will be activating their chips, their wildcard chips for game week 34, I should have at least 8, possibly 9 double game weekers for 34. And as I said to you, get as many Brighton and Man United players in as possible, because not only do they double this game week, Brighton then double in 36 and 37. Man U double in 37 as well. And Newcastle will most probably have a double in 36 as well, as they have another fixture still to be played as well. Thanks for listening, guys. If you enjoyed me waffling on about my team, talking FPL, please don't forget to like and subscribe to FPL Posty. Thanks, guys.